Can we have Parshas Terumah? I imagine from the name of the Parsha itself, we should feel some kind of uplifting, because Terumah means to lift up. Terumah means to lift. You take something and you give it to the base of Midrash, or you give it to for tzedakah. You're not just separating it, you're uplifting, you're elevating it. That's the purpose, to elevate the physical world and to make it more spiritual. And how do you do that? By taking away from your parasa, from the income that you have, and you give it Terumah. You give it to somebody else who's right next to you. You're not lifting anything up physically, but you're lifting it up where now it's achieving its real purpose. The purpose is to take the physical world and elevate it to the spiritual world. That's what the Parsha is called, Parshat Terumah. You have to understand that a donation, which they translate today as Terumah, means uplifting. It doesn't mean just to give. It means to uplift. Terumah, okay. So we have the first piece of the page, Baal Shem Tov. The Baal B'nai Yisrael, the Yikhu li Terumah. Tell the Jewish people they should take from me a Terumah. What do we take from me a Terumah? We should take from their income that they have and take it away from themselves and give it to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Pirush Rashi doesn't say V'yikhu Terumah, V'yikhu li Terumah. Whether li, Rashi says Lishmi. It means it has to be given L'Shem Hashem, not to give it for the person's own reasons. Very important. Person gives because he makes all kinds of bonus. People give tzedakah, they donate. There's all kinds of computations that they make in their mind. Should I, should I not? What do I gain by it? What are the pluses and the minuses? No, that's not the way it works. The Yikhu li Terumah. Rashi is, what does the word li mean? Rashi is Lishmi. Has to be L'Shem Hashem. You're doing it for Hashem. That's the main and the only reason you should be giving. It doesn't mean that you can't make his bonus, but you have to overcome your own calculations and give it for what Hashem wants. Lishmi. Okay. So Baal Shem Tov goes further. Shemati from this person, Rav Shmuel Kaminka, and he said this in front of Baal Shem Tov, Pirush Rashi Hanal. He wants to explain the Rashi a little bit more than we did. That is a very important and interesting observation. Why, if I'm giving tzedakah to a basic knesses, I'm giving to a poor person, and I'm giving for my own calculations. I have reasons that I want to give. Does it make a difference? At the end of the day, he has the money that he needs. He can buy now food for Shabbos. He can buy clothing for his children. He can now make a chasana that he couldn't make before. What difference does it make what my cheshbonos are? What the difference? When you're giving tzedakah, the end result is, the bottom line is, the person who didn't have, now he has, finished. And it's true. You can't deny the facts. The person didn't have before, now he has, even though my reasons for giving him were not the best reasons. I had my own cheshbonos in mind. I'm not such a big tzaddik, I'm doing it for the mitzvah because Hashem said it, L'shma L'Shem Hashem. But the end of the day is, he has what he needs. So what's so terrible? What's so terrible? Why is there such an emphasis that I have to give it L'shma? Any time, the point is I have to give. That's the main idea. I have to give. And it's very interesting, by the way, if you think about it. It's very, very, very interesting. Maybe we mentioned this in the previous shiur also. What is the definition of perfection? The definition of perfection. An example of the definition of perfection is Hashem himself. There's nothing more perfect than Hashem. There's no flaws. I mean, this is part of our basic emunah in what the institution or the object, what we call a Kadosh Baruch Hu, what does that mean? That means Hashem is absolutely perfect and there's no flaw. And we call him Tov. Tov Kilo Chol Rachamecha. Your Rachamanus is never ending. We say it more than every single day. Hatov Kilo Chol Rachamecha. Your Chesed, your Rachanim is infinite. It never ends. It's perfect all the time. Question remains, if something is perfect, why do you mess around with it? Why do you try to change it? Why did Hashem, before the world was created, have to create a world? He's already perfect. Perfection means that there's no flaws. So if you leave perfection as it is, is there anything greater than perfection? Perfection means that it has good in every single way, and there's no chesaron. Why, therefore, make changes? Why rattling? Why rattling with what's going on? And who knows what you have after you make a change? Will it be the same? The answer is, and it's a very important answer, very, very important answer. That is the definition of perfection. Perfection is always not just to remain static. Perfection means to always give, as we say. Hatov ki lo chalu rachamecha. Your Rahmanis is unending. It never ends. That is the perfection itself. Hamarachem ki lo samo chasedecha. Your chesed never finishes. It's a constant production. This is why Hashem, I could say, he had to create the world in a sense. In a sense, he had to create the world, because that is the definition of Hashem. Hashem is the absolute, I would say, essence of perfection, and perfection means to be a constant giver. A constant giver. Always giving, always trying to produce, always trying to influence in a good way. That is the definition of perfection. That's why Hashem created the world. That's part of the definition. It's not something that he's messing around with and maybe going to change the perfection. No. If he wouldn't be giving, then he wouldn't be perfect. That is the definition of perfection. It is constant giving, and always producing, and more, and chesed, more. Okay. So getting back to our Parshah, what difference does it make? What the reason is that you give tzedakah? What's the difference? It doesn't make a difference. The end of it, the point is, the army got the money. He now can do what he couldn't do before. He can buy food for Shabbat. Before he couldn't do it. And even if I have my own calculations in mind, I gave it for my own reasons. Doesn't make a difference. I did a good thing. He has now what he didn't have before. Says the Baal Shem Tov, Afilu k'she'ein nosnin l'shem shamayim. I'm not giving it to L'Shem Shamayim. Why? Ki terem hakol nizan hani. The bottom line is, he's getting his support. U'machai es nafsho b'tzedakah. Now, it's very interesting. Now, what did Rashi said? Rashi said, "Li mishmi." Listen to this. This is quite interesting. Rashi was bothered by it. This question that we're just talking about. Why does it matter what reasons you have for giving? As long as you give. As long as you give, you are continuing the process that Hashem is living, is the idea of perfection. You're continuing it. Because Hashem is always giving, he's always being morachem, he's always doing chesed, you're doing the same thing. He has his reasons, you have your reasons, but you're doing the actual thing that Hashem is also doing. So he says here, Rashi, the Parshat should have said, V'yitnu li truma. The Baal B'nai Yisrael, V'yitnu li, they should give me truma. Right? That's what it should have said, not V'yichu li. Why did it say V'yichu li truma? V'yitnu li, they should give me. They should give truma. That's what the mitzvah should be. To give truma. What is it? Why did it say V'yichu? Why did the pasuk say V'yichu li truma? Elo. So the word li, mitli, to me, for Hashem. It's also very interesting. Why does Hashem need it? Hashem doesn't, everything is owned by Hashem. Hashem in 1 second can take the whole world, destroy it, and he has whatever, Hashem, why does Hashem need our Terumah? Does he need our Terumah? Does he need it? Yichuli Terumah, we should give Terumah to Hashem. What does it mean? Shema Shemi is me, HaKavana, Bezel Shmi, and it means with the same Shemayim. So it doesn't, so you can't write already V'yitnuli. You can't write V'yitnuli, because Hashem, an Ani needs the money that we give him. But Hashem doesn't need it. So what are we giving to Hashem and Terumah? What are we giving? So he says, then to the finish. I'll go upon him, it says V'yichuli Terumah. This is important. This is important. And it helps people justify why they don't give. Why some people don't give. It says V'yichuli Terumah. It's not talking about the giver. It's talking about the giver. A giver can give no matter what his calculations are. The point is that he's giving. He's continuing on the process in which Hashem lives. Hashem is a constant giver all the time. So a person who gives, whatever reason he gives, doesn't make a difference. He's doing on the same thing. The point is not to be the giver. It's what the Parshat is talking about. Who is taking? The taking. When the person takes the tzedakah, the Baal B'nai Yisrael, when they take the money that is being given to them, why are they taking that money? Are they taking it for Shmi, taking it for me, or they're taking it for extras that they don't really need? That's what the Parshat, that's what Rashi tried to tell us. When a person accepts the tzedakah, when he receives it, why is he receiving it? Why is he taking it? And I go to shul every morning, Baruch Hashem, and I take out 10, 12 shekel. I have it ready for the people who are coming around. Not all the people that come around do I give. I have very serious suspicions that some of them, that I don't believe that they really need it. And there's one fellow who comes in the shul where I daven. He comes in a big van every single morning, and he drives up in a big van. Why is he taking the money? I don't know. Maybe he's taking for some. I could be down the schools. He's taking for somebody else, and he's collecting for it. Could be, but the way the whole matter is very suspicious in my mind. So I don't give him. I mean, I'm not the wealthiest person in the world. I can't give to everybody, so I have to choose who I'm going to give to. So I choose somebody who I don't have any suspicion about at all. I have a good feeling that this is a person who really needs it, and I'm going to give it to him. Okay. I don't know who this person who's coming out with the big van. What is he going to do with the money? Who's going to give it to? Do I have any idea? I have no idea. I don't think he needs it himself because he has a big van.
Gas is expensive.
All right, whatever you say. But there are other people who don't have any vans, and I know they're much more probable that they need the money themselves. I don't know. He's probably collecting for somebody else. But do I know where it's going to end up that money? I have no idea. So I want to give to someone who I have more certainty that it's going to be. That's what the Parshat is telling. The people who take the money, not who are givers. The givers doesn't make a difference. You're giving, you do what Hashem does. Hashem gives all the time. He's giving. You're also giving. Very good. You have your own calculations, so you have your own calculations. But you still have the mitzvah. You still have to give to him. It's not the highest level, but you still have the mitzvah. The person who takes, he has to make sure that he's taking money from people who are giving to him. They are assuming that he really needs it. So he has to use it for something which is really necessary. Not for extras. Not for all kinds of things that he really doesn't need. That's what the Pasuk said. Shir HaMekabel Tzedakah Mekabel Oisah L'Shem Shemayim. What is Mekabel Tzedakah? Lo Mekabel Tzedakah L'Shem Motro. He shouldn't be taking it for extras, for luxury. Rak L'Shem Mitzdarech L'Hakyos Nafsho Nafshos Beso Kol Echad L'Fi Hashem. That is the reason that he's supposed to take money. He may not need it for himself, maybe need it for his family. It's also good. Saying that they really need it. That is the Michuli Tshuva. The taking has to be also L'Shem Shemayim. For what it's really intended for. And if a person takes it for extras, not only is he doing wrong? But it may be even a Geneva. It's even maybe a Geneva, because I'm giving with the assumption that he needs it. And if he's taking it for extras, for luxuries, then he's fooling me. And I wouldn't give it to him in such a case. So that's taking the money illegally. He's taking it with false representation. Therefore, he has to be absolutely sure that the money that I'm giving him is being used for basic needs. Could be him, for his children, and basic needs, not for extras. Very important. Okay. Now we'll go further. Me'ez kol ish asher yedvenu libo tikros trovasei. Who do you take from? Now, this person, Dabel b'nei Israel, v'yikli tshuva, is talking about the people, the Gabayim, who are going to take the money. The Gabayim are going to take the money. You have the people go around in shul with a pushka, and they're collecting money. What are they doing? Who should they take from? Who should they take from? Me'ez kol ish asher yedvenu libo tikros trovasei. Shema Baal Shem Tov hainu shekol adam tzorech l'siach eitzot b'nafshay. Everybody has to have a settled mind. He has to have the right eitzah. La'afoch lasos midos tovos. He has to change his own attitude into good character traits. Mikol hashem yidvenu libo mihatavos hachitzonios. The person has all kinds of desires in his life. We're human beings. We have human emotions, and we have all kinds of things that we're not supposed to be desiring. We do desire them. And we have midos ra's, asher hilibohem. Mehem yikach derech lavoda avodat haborei ba'oseh hachesed ba'oseh hataiva b'yesed seis. Now it's very, very interesting. Me'ez kol ish asher yedvenu libo. A person has to have his heart donated. What do you mean his heart? What does it mean his heart is donated? The answer is the following. Our makeup as human beings makes us very vulnerable to all kinds of desires that a human being can have. Animalistic desires. If people ask you what you do, you say to them, I like this, and therefore I do that. I do what I like. That's the way people are. I do what I like. Do you eat this or you don't eat this? I eat what I like. If I like it, I eat it. If I don't like it, I don't eat it. Like it. This is good, and it's also not good. Why is it not good? Because those likings, those animalistic tendencies that you have, those likings, you could put it here. Doesn't tell me at all. Those likings can be very misleading. But we have likings. We have emotions. We have feelings. What we're supposed to do is take those likings, take those feelings, and the same hatred that we have for those indulgences, we have to take that and give it over to the tzedakah. That's the way we have to give the tzedakah. Just the way you are hungry. The person is hungry, he hasn't eaten for many, many hours. So he's famished, he's starving. So when he gets to eat, Baruch Hashem, and he's tasting the food, and he's swallowing it and eating it, and he's having such pleasure, and finally he can satisfy his hunger and his thirst. That feeling of satisfaction and the hunger of thirst, take that and make yourself feel the same way when you give it tzedakah. That's shot. Me'ez kol ish and she'yedvenu libo tikros trovasei. Take the money from those people who take those emotions that they have for the physical world and they switch it over into the spiritual. I want to feel the same way. I want to have the same enjoyment when I give tzedakah as when I crunch into a piece of watermelon on a hot summer day. Piece of water, it's sweet and it's helpful, all kinds of things. And I enjoy this watermelon on a hot summer day. I want to have that same enjoyment when I'm giving the tzedakah. That's me'ez kol ish asher yedvenu libo. So because of that, Baal Shem Tov says further, Shemaiti mimori b'shem Rabbeinu Sad Yegon. And this comes from the Geonim. From the Geonim. This is not from the Rishonim, the Afrim, the later last few hundred years. This goes back thousands of years. The Geonim, thousands of years. What do they say? It is fitting for a person to have desires for all physical indulgences. You hear this? It is fitting and it's proper. And a person should not try to cancel them. All these desires that we have for physical indulgences, these are something which can be very, very good for us. And he said it's right. This is from the Garden, Sadiyah. We should have desires, cheshik, and appetite. Why? Why? For the Gashmi themselves, for the physical themselves? No. Once we have experienced and we have felt that desire, that lust, now we can say, I want to take that lust, I want to convert it now to have the same lust for the spiritual, for the Kedusha. That's the point. So it's very important not to all of a sudden cancel out your human side. No, use your human side, but use it. But not to go further with it. Take the human side, the physical side, and switch that to Kedusha, to Ruchnius, to mitzvahs. He gives examples. I want to see what he says, but first, 1 minute. You want to have a cheshik? Okay, for instance, he says, B'Torah for Hashem. Now, come on, Mashallah. So when you're learning Torah, whether you're listening to a shiur, I come here, don't say Shabbos, I come back, and very often they have here a video of the Rebbe speaking on Motzei Shabbos. They play a video of the Rebbe. And I try to stop in the last few minutes. You do it with a cheshik. When I come back from shul, when I daven, I have to daven in another shul, Motzei Shabbos, because I'm the gabbai over there, I have to daven there. But I come back quickly. I want to get a few minutes of those words the Rebbe is saying. Maybe I can learn something from it. It's very important to hear that. That's the way you have to look at learning Torah. I'm going to it with a desire, with a cheshik. Not something that I have to do. That's the way mitzvahs have to be done. You have to have a cheshik. That same cheshik that comes from the physical side. It comes from the human side. Take the human cheshik that you have, the desires, the lust you have for something, and switch that over to have the same desire, the same lust for the spiritual. That's why the whole Parshat is called Terumah. We have to uplift, elevate our physical, and elevate it and make it to a spiritual. Take it, don't cancel it out. I'm not supposed to have any lust. That's not have any desires. No. You're supposed to have lust. Recognize it, but use it for the spiritual instead of the physical. Okay. He gives an example. If you go so far, if a person has a mating with his wife, so what do you have there? You have a joining. There's a mating. You have to realize that there's something going on in the spiritual world at the same time that you're involved in the physical world. There's something going on in the spiritual, and you can convert that act into a spiritual act. Sometimes you wonder why parents have children who are not according to what they would really want. Not according to what they really want. The children sort of are off the path. They're not as happy as they would like to be with these children. Do they ever think for a moment what kind of kavanas they had at the time when they were mating and these children were conceived? If they were into a totally physical experience, just self-enjoyment, then that's going to influence the children. Very simply. The way the conception takes place, that's the foundation. That's going to influence how the children turn out. If the parents have a mitzvah in mind, at least, the basic, I'm being the kind of mitzvah of pruavu. It's a mitzvah of pruavu. I'm doing it to have more children, Hashem said. So already you have something positive about it. But if a person on a higher level, he's learning Hasidus, he's learning Kabbalah, and he knows when he is having a mating with his wife, in the Olamis Halyonim, there's also some kind of mating going on between this koach and that koach, and they're joined together to produce something which is going to be very positive and come down to this world. That's what's going on when a person is having a session with his wife. At that time, the mating going on down here is a symbol of the mating going on upstairs in Shemayim also. We say every single day before, in many of the mitzvahs we do, L'shem yichud, kudshe barichu, u'shchinte. Correct? Kudshe barichu, u'shchinte. Kudshe barichu is the Aramaic for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the male. Shchinte is the female. So we want a yichud, we want to have a mating, a togetherness between Kudshe Barichu and Shchinte, from the male aspect to the female aspect. That joining is extremely, extremely important for the proper conduct of the world. When that mating takes place in the Olam Yisrael, in the spiritual world, it sends down all kinds of children that are coming out, as a matter of fact, and now those children are positive children, which influence the world in a very good way, positive way. And that's because what? Because the parents who were having their mating session at that time were thinking, I want in Shemayim this mating to take place also to have a positive effect. Aside from the mitzvah of Kruavu, aside from the mitzvah of Onef, a person has a mitzvah to keep his wife happy also. Women have a certain need to have their husband with them. They have a need. The Torah recognizes that need, and you also can think, I'm satisfying what the Torah wants. It's also a mitzvah. The point is, it should not be a totally physical act for self-enjoyment. That's it. When that happens, the children are affected. That's the way that they're going to turn out. Of course, there's many other influences, many elements in what makes a child the way he is. But that's certainly a very, very important element in production of children. Having the right chavanas at the time of the conception of the mating. Okay. So the Baal Shem Tov says the following. Shemaitini Mori. This is the Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov. And he said the following. Shemaitini Mori. Moshe Lamelech. He has a king. It's a mashal. Shoel Abed. The king has a son. V'rotzel Lamdo Kama Mini Chachmos Tzitchilon. The father, the king, wanted to teach his son, the prince, a number of things that he'll need in life, all kinds of chachma. So he hired, the king is busy being a king, he has a whole country to take care of, and he has no time to teach his son, so he hires teachers to teach his son. And he's not successful learning with these teachers, not successful. All these teachers, they just gave up. They see they're not getting anywhere with his child, with the prince, they gave up. One of the teachers said, I'm going to stick it out, I'm going to stay with it, I'm going to try. And he was a very wise teacher. So he's teaching the son, and the son is already of a certain age where he already can appreciate women. So he sees the teacher that the son is attracted to this particular girl. And until now, he didn't display any kinds of desires or interest in all of these chachmas the teacher teaching him. Didn't display any desire at all. All of a sudden, a desire pops up in his mind, and he has a desire for this young lady, and the teacher is observing this. He sees that the child does have the ability to have desires. So the Chacham, this teacher, went to the king and he complained. All of the teachers, they all had to leave. He has no desires for anything. All of a sudden, this young lady comes up, he has another desire. But to learn something which can help him out in life, all the Chacham want to teach him, all the skills that we're going to teach him, that he has no interest in it. All of a sudden, for this, he has an interest. So what did the king say? Let's see. So the king said, I thought you were a chacham. I thought you were a chacham. You see that the child does have when the other teachers felt that the child has no ability for desires. He was born in such a way that that's the way his body works. He has no ability for have desires of anything. He has his own interests, but he doesn't have desires for other things he doesn't have. He's set, he's a prince, he has anything what he needs. He has no desire to learn anything new. The king says to him, you see now that he has a desire? Where is your chachma? It's not your chachma. You see that he has the ability to have desires? From that desire that he has for this young lady, you'll be able to transfer and expand the desires for the chachmas also that you want to teach him. That's what the king told him. In the king said, bring this young lady in, bring in the young lady. And the king told this young lady, if he comes and he makes an offer to you that he wants you to be his mate, don't accept. Until you can get him to agree that you'll be willing to come to him on the condition that he learns a particular kind of chachma. So that's what she did, and that she was successful. After, so it could be that she did mate with him, I don't know. But the point was, his desire didn't end, and he wanted more and more. The more he wanted, the more she demanded of him that he learn. And since he had no choice in order to get her, he didn't want to force her, so he learned all these chachmas. At the end, he turned out to be the chachma that the king wanted. That's the idea that he's trying to tell us. Use the physical indulgences that are part of the human experience, use them and say, if I can have these desires for these physical indulgences, then I can take those same feelings and switch them over to spiritual indulgences. I want to have the same feelings that they have to have a very good piece of cake. I want to have that same feeling to learn a piece of chumash. The same enjoyment. Get enjoyment. That's the way we have to live. That's a madrega. That's a madrega. This is what Hasidus is trying to teach us. When you learn Torah, it shouldn't be something which is dry and something that you have to do. You should do it with a chesed. You should have a feeling, oh, this is really something that I really enjoy and really do enjoy it. Really do it. You have to, in your own mind, you have to do. How do you do that? You do that by using your mind to overcome your emotions. I was giving a share before earlier, the Gershom was part of the share. It's very important to remember this, and I want to mention it to you also. If you didn't hear, I hope you don't mind, Gershom.
It's always good to hear it again.
Okay. We have a mitzvah in the Torah, Chabad is avicha v'simecha. Right? Honor your father and mother. That's a mitzvah in the Torah. Why did it say avicha father? Why did it say Chabad, horim? Mechabed your horim? Honor your parents. Why did the Torah emphasize father first and then mother? Say horim. Are they equal? Do they both deserve honor for your child? Of course they do. So why does it say avicha v'simecha? Why does it say father first and then the mother? The indication is that first the father comes first before the mother. That's the way the indication is. The Gemara says a very interesting reason. Father has a son. Is the father home? No. Father goes out to work. He comes home at night. The child could be sleeping already. He doesn't have as much time with the child as much. And if he goes, maybe he's going to the kollel, he's an avrech, he's learning. Still, he comes home and the child is mostly with the mother all day long. The mother speaks to him nicely. She cajoles him. She speaks softly to him. So the natural instinct of a child is to favor his mother, listen to his mother more so than his father. He doesn't have that much contact with the father, especially in the earlier years. The father comes home, the child is asleep already. Comes along, the Torah says, it's wrong. It's wrong. Even though your mother, it's true, she deserves to get the kavod. She's raising you, she's changing your diapers, she's giving you to eat, whatever she's doing for you. She's washing your clothing. She's done all these things for you. And you have to appreciate that and respect her for it. But the Torah says, don't neglect your father. Just because you have those natural feelings, the human feelings for your mother, that doesn't mean your father is secondary. And I'm going to put in the Torah, Hashem says, I'm going to put your father before your mother to teach you that they are equal. And I'm putting your father first because you have a natural instinct to go the other direction, and I'm going to go back the other way to make it equal. In words, we have to use your mind, your intelligence, to know how to act, not only your feelings. If you use your feelings only, you're going to go wrong. you're going to go wrong. It's exactly what we're learning here right now. You have feelings, you have desires, you have all kinds of lusts that are part of the human experience. This is the way Hashem created the world. The human being has lusts, has experiences that he wants to enjoy, and Torah says that's not the way a Jew lives. A Jew has to live with his intelligence, with his sefer. Hashem gave you a moach, a brain, and your brain is something other than your heart. Your heart is very, very emotional. We have to use our emotions too. But who is going to decide where the emotions go? When you have the feelings of ahava, you have the feelings of love, you have a desire to be close to certain things. A person can have a love for his animal, for a dog. He can love his dog. Love your dog. Where are you supposed to, what are you supposed to do? Who is going to direct where your ahava goes? Some people can have more of a love for their animals than they can have for their family members. There can also be such a thing also. You love your dog is very loyal to you, and you give it the food, and he loves you, and he's licking you, and whatever it is the dog does for you, and you can have greater feelings of love for your dog than you can have for other members of the family, for a brother and a sister. Rabbi says that's not the way to live, the way your natural instincts go. You have to live according to what does Hashem want you to do? What is the rationale? What does the intelligence say? What does the intelligence say? If you would ask Hashem, who should I love more, my sister or my dog? My dog is very good to me. He's very loyal to me. My sister, I'm always having arguments with her. Who should I love more? Your instincts are going to be to love your dog more than your own sister. That's why we have to have a Torah. Torah tells you what Hashem wants. What Hashem wants. And this is very important, the way a Jew lives. Very, very important the way a Jew lives. A Jew has to make a decision not on how he feels. Not according to how he feels. But what would Hashem answer if you asked Hashem the question, what should I do it? Should I not do it? Or how should I do it? Or how would Hashem want you to behave? What would Hashem's answer be? That's the way a Jew has to live. That is what we learn over here also. That's what we learn right here now also. The same thing. Don't be to take your human desires that you have for lust. Take those lusts, you have to have them, use them, but convert them also, use them to also have an appreciation for the ruchnis, for kedusha as well. This is what Terumah, that's why the whole Parshah is called Terumah. You know, I never thought about it until today. I'm in yeshiva from the age of 4. My parents put me already in a kindergarten, the yeshiva kindergarten at the age of 4. The earlier than my whole life, and I never thought about that thought until today. Why is the whole Parsha called Shemot? We're supposed to take the physical and elevate it. The whole world, the physical world, the Gashmi world, the material world, we're supposed to be elevated. It's not just you're taking it away from yourself and you're separating it from your parnasa. You make $100,000 a month, and I want to take off 10%, so I'm taking away Meiser, take off Meiser, 10%. No, you're not just taking it away. You are elevating it. It's Terumah. It's Terumah. Even if you don't give it to the base of Mikdash or to the base of Knesset, you're giving it to another person, but you're elevating it. That's the whole purpose. We call the whole Parsha Terumah for that reason. You have to realize the whole Indian is elevation, not just giving a separation, but elevation. Very, very important. That means also, remember, the Gashmias too, that we had before. Take the Gashmias. Don't discard it. Don't say, I'm not supposed to have these feelings. I'm not supposed to have enjoyment. No. You have to have enjoyment, but take that enjoyment also and use it for Avodas Hashem also. Elevate it.
It's kind of a reciprocal thing, because another purpose, I think, of the Parsha, all the remaining Parshas, is to build the Mishkan, where Hashem says He'll dwell within us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we're elevating things up to Shemayim, but Shemayim is coming down.
Well, what we're doing over there is we're providing a proper foundation for which it can come. It can't come to an empty place. So we have to make the foundation so that it can come down. Yeah, very good. We. Okay. Let's see further here. All right. All right. Mama Baal Shem Tov, Nishmoso, begin to be Robim al Pasuk in Shir Shir. My office, Umana Amt, Ava Batanukim. So in Shir Shir, Shlomo HaMelech, with his great wisdom, is talking about this whole idea of Ava and enjoyment. Ava Batanukim. Shmo Yafa, Uman Na'im, who how beautiful it is and how pleasant it is. Shebakol Tanukim, who ha'avu ha'liyona. This is the greatest love that a person can have. She'al yidei his orizos hatanuk b'tivo. When you're taking this arousal of the natural feelings of enjoyment, yakalo le'avo es habori yisborach borahu. You'll be able to take them and use them to love Hashem as well. Ki b'lav hachi kasher leftov zos hamida lehaskil le'aho ozei yisborach Shemot. You have to understand, to love Hashem is something very, very difficult. It's so far from us. Something which is so, even in our own neshama, we have the Arizal, based on the Zohar, tells us we have 5 parts to our soul. We have what we call nefesh, then ruach, neshama, Chaya and Yechida, 5 parts of the soul. The nefesh deals with the physical functions of the body. That's the way the blood that's pumping in us from our heart, the digestive system. This is all the nefesh, that part of the soul which takes care of the physical functions. Then we have a higher level called the ruach, which deals with air. That would be the breathing side, the breathing part, and speech. Speech has to do with the air. Then we have, that's another part of the soul. That's the ruach. Then we have neshama. What does neshama mean? Different than nefesh. Neshama has to deal with the intelligent part of the soul. That's in the brain. So we have already, what more can there be? You have nefesh, the physical. Then we have the air, the lungs, things of that nature, the air, and then we have neshama, the brain, the intelligence. What are the 2 other levels? Then there's 2 other levels called Chaya and Yechida. They are represented by, let's call it, a influence which comes from above, which hovers above us. It's so high up. It's part of our soul. Every person has 5 parts of the soul: nefesh, ruach, neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. Those 2, they are like a cloud which hovers above us, on top of our head, and sends down its influence into us. So we have the neshama inside the brain, and outside of the brain we have also influence of the chaya and yechida. That's why, by the way, the Shem Hashem, which has only 4 letters, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, but the top of the Yud, that little thorn on top of the Yud, called the Kos HaYud, represents the 5th level. With it so small and so delicate, you almost don't even notice it. The soul, the same thing applies to us also. That part of us is hovering above us, and it doesn't really connect with us. We don't even know if it existed, but it's there. Nevertheless, it's there, and it is the most powerful of all of the 5 parts of the soul. That is like the source. That is where the powerhouse, that's where it's coming from. The other ones are just coming down from it. But nevertheless, it's there. So, why did I bring that up? Let me see, what were we talking about before? Why I brought that up? I forgot what the connection was. 1 minute. When did we bring it up? I don't remember why I brought it up now. But based on the share that we gave before, this is something important that they don't talk about in most places either. The weeks that we're going through right now, before Chodesh Nisan, we have Parsha Shkolim, which was yesterday. Next one is Parsha Zachar. After that is Parsha Parah, and then you have Parsha Parah. You have Parsha Zachodesh. You have four Parshas. All of these 4 Parshas are preparing our soul for Matan Torah, for the Bria Sa'olam in Nisan. This is all going through a preparation. Right now, the Parsha Shkolim, we just finished Parsha Shkolim, we prepared that lower part, the Nefesh, by taking the shekel, the machzah shekel, and giving that's the Nefesh, the giving part, the action part. And as each week, as you go up, you go higher and higher and higher. Nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Okay, so anyway, so we have to realize that every time we have a new Parsha coming up, next one's coming, Parsha Zachor, every time you have to realize we're coming closer to prepare ourselves for Pesach. Coming closer to prepare ourselves for Pesach. Pesach, the word was created, Lemaisa, the Machlokas in the Gemara, when the word was created in Tishrei or Nisan. So we paskin that they were in Machshava, Hashem's Machshava to create the world was in Tishrei, and Rabbi Yeshua says that the actual creation took place in Nisan, and therefore there was a tremendous amount of chesed coming down in the Gashmi's world. We're preparing ourselves to be able to appreciate that and absorb it. So you have to remember that as we go each week, getting closer and closer and closer. Just don't think it just happens to be another week. It's not another week. Every week we're going higher and higher, and it starts off with Parshat Shkolim. Okay, so Bevadai, Kol Mashem is Ave Ha'adam Le'ezet Tainu, every title that person has, for whatever lust it might be, V'nis Oren B'Tivo, Midas Ha'ava Le'oso Ha'tainu, and you have a certain desire for that particular indulgence. Shu Ava Nefilo, which is a lower form of the Ava, Mimakora Ava Elyonim. Because this Ava that we have, the desire for this love that we have for this indulgence, comes from the Midah, which was created in the world. And we have to understand also, Hashem created into the world this idea of Midos. That not only are there physical creations in the world, Hashem created conceptual feelings. Hashem had to create feelings. It's something which is created in the world, which exists whether you have it or you don't have it. But Hashem created also this creation called feelings. And this feeling of Ahava was created in the world also. And if you experience it down here, a certain kind of Ahava, a certain kind of own and desire for something, it comes from that Ahava. By the way, Derech Agav, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. You take the word Ahava itself, let's think about it for a second. Aleph, Hey, Vav, Beis, Hey. Aleph, Hey, Beis, Hey. Let's add it up. How much does it come out to Ava? Aleph and Hey is 5 and 1, right? 5 and 1 is 6. And then you have Aleph, Hey. And then you have another Beis, right? 6 and 2 is 8. And then you have the last Hey is 5. 8 and 5 is 13, right? 13. What does 13 mean in Hebrew? How do you say 13 in Hebrew? Eshov. 13, yes. But in letters, it's Aleph, Ches, Daled. That's fine. Aleph, Ches, Daled is also 1. Ava is 1, and Echad is 1. Why is that so? Because with Ava, you become one with that thing which you desire. You become united with it. If you have an Ava, right, or a person has an Ava for his wife, so he and his wife are supposed to be like one. And you're supposed to have to take that same Ava and convert it, direct it to Hashem. And you're supposed to be one with Hashem. That's why you have a mitzvah. V'yohavta es Hashem v'lokecha. You have to feel one. You have to feel love for that. That love joins you. It makes you one. That's why Ava is not stam. Ava is the gematria of Echad, one, because the Ava makes you want to be united with that particular thing that you have the Ava for. That's why it's one. So he says, take this Ava and switch it to a Kodesh Baruch Hu and feel the Ava for him also. If Hashem did not create this Ava in the world, you would not be able to experience any Ava at all. Don't think it's something which is natural. Hashem created this concept, this theoretical midah called Ava in the world, and it's the fact that we have an Ava and become because it was created to begin with in the world. It exists. And if the fact that it exists in the world, we have the personal Ava that we feel because we're taking from that existence that was not only what Hashem created the world, the world as a Shemayim as a Aretz. He didn't only create the physical world, all the heavens and the stars and that. He created also those things which occupy the world. Things that occupy the world are spiritual occupations like midos. Hashem created a midah of Ava in the world. And the fact that you feel an Ava, that means you are getting a chelik of that, using a chelik for that midah that Hashem created. Okay. The other, what's the hamshich? Where is it? Okay. Without this, lo is orabo zos hamida. If Hashem did not create the midah of Ava in the world, you wouldn't be able to experience any Ava either. Hashem lo hadas hanal, as I nipshach hu achar esu hataynik, u makil hamida od l'matam chasa. And if you don't realize that at the time, so what's going to be? You just be thinking about your own personal desires, and you're going to go into your own personal lusts, and you'll forget about this whole idea that all feelings that you have should be converted to Hashem, because Hashem created these feelings, these desires, so you should take them and convert them and elevate them. That's the only of Terumah. Take the physical desires that you have, the emotional desires, and convert them to avodas Hashem. That's the whole purpose of the Terumah. How are we doing? Almost been, okay. One more paragraph. The famine. Being human beings, sometimes you have desires for the wrong things. For the wrong things. You could have a desire for an avera. You would like to indulge in a particular thing, but for some reason or other, there could be many different reasons, are preventing you from doing it. So you can't actualize what you have a desire for. You have to realize this is also considered a strength in the Shmaya. This is a big timing that you have. You're also Hashem sees that you're somehow not on the level to take your feelings and elevate them to avodas Hashem. You're not on that level. So what do you know? If you don't elevate to avodas Hashem, what are you going to do? You're going to take that ava and for something down here, and it could be something also which you're not supposed to have ava for. So Hashem gave you somehow some kind of thing in the world that's going to prevent you from actualizing it. Let's say you see something that lying around, and you really should take it and put up a sign. I found this item, and put it up on the bulletin board, and maybe somebody lost it, they forgot it here. But you think no one's bothering with it, okay, I'll take it for myself. Take it myself. Bring it for left in here, maybe we forgot about it, maybe they were miyash, or they gave hope on it. It's really hefker now. I really could take it. That's one way you could look at it, but you could say also, no, I could do a mitzvah with it. Maybe someone lost it, forgot it, and I can put a sign up, and maybe someone will come and get it. So Hashem says, not every person is on that level. So at least I'm going to make it difficult for him to indulge in that taiva. He may not be able to take the taiva and direct it to me and elevate it like he's supposed to, like the Parshat Terumah says, but at least I'll prevent him. We have to realize that is also a siyata d'shmaya. The siyata d'shmaya Hashem prevented you from going further and indulging it. Maybe you're afraid someone will see you, will take the object, whatever, all kinds of things will happen in your mind, prevent you from taking the object. This also have to realize it's a strength for Shema too. Because Hashem realizes you're not on the level to take the feelings, elevate it to Him, but at least you shouldn't be able to indulge and do the thing in a wrong way. Like taking it for yourself. Other. Once in a while, Hamshich, Achara, as HaKadosh Yochel, Mitzamtzim, Od Kvodo, Yizmor Shmo, Lahazmin Lo, Ezeminias. So Hashem is going to do something as a favor for you and set up some kind of prevention. At least you're going to be inactive. You won't be able to actualize it, so you'll be inactive. You won't be able to do it. But you're still not really at the level you're supposed to be. You're supposed to take those desires that you have for that thing, take them and elevate them and serve Hashem with it. That's what you're supposed to do. If you can't do that, at least you won't be able to actualize it and fulfill your desires to do what you wanted to do. That also is a favor Hashem, because He realizes you're not on that level. So at least He'll prevent you from doing the avera that you had in mind. Okay. Fine. All right, that's basically it. There's another small piece, but I think we're going to stop over here. And this idea that we have in our mind now about elevating things into the world, the whole Parshah of Terumah, when we come to the Parshah this week, we have Terumah. We should remember this. Why is the whole Parsha called in one name Terumah? The idea we're supposed to take the physical, put it into Terumah, and build a Mishkan. That's what the whole Parsha is talking about, building the Mishkan. Taking the physical things that we have in the world, when we take wood and then the crushing and everything, and we're supposed to build a Mishkan. We're taking the physical, elevating it, and making it part of the service of Hashem. That is the whole purpose of the entire world. Take the physical world and elevate it to what is Hashem, and that's what the reason that you're here for. Okay. No, we haven't any other.
Right.